Hey, my name is Michael Meeks with MacArthur Woodworks, and today I'm going to show you how to maintain your charcuterie board or cutting board with Walrus Oil. So if you've purchased a charcuterie board or cutting board from me in the last year, supported your local woodworker, I send these very luxurious plastic bags with them as a care kit. We're going to go through this bag real fast and then we'll get started with the process. How to maintain your cutting board or charcuterie board. A little Walrus Oil bottle. Walrus Oil wood wax. When you use your board and you wipe it off with water, you have cheese on there or whatever, you get stuff stuck on there, you have to clean it, and sometimes the grain on the wood will start to pop up a little bit. So first thing you want to do is to clean it. You want to use either lukewarm water or cold water, and please, please, please do not put it in the dishwasher. So just a little bit of lukewarm water and then let it dry. So we're going to go through the steps of how to care for your board with a few boards that I've made in the past. They are still in really good shape. They're about 7 months old. They've been used a good bit because they both belong to sets of people that love to serve and have other people over host. These boards are awesome pieces in their house that they can bring out, set all kind of stuff on. So you can feel the grain, it's just not nearly as smooth as when they first got it 8 months ago. You see these little lines going everywhere, and I know these people very well, and this one sits in the middle of their kitchen table, which is awesome. It's an awesome centerpiece for their table, and they set stuff on top of it, which again is great. But after a while, after they've used it a couple times and washed it, the wax starts to wear off, and so it starts to get these little marks on it. You can also feel the grain on this one is raised a little bit as well. Again, the first step in the process is to wash them with water and soap. So the next step now is to sand. I sand all my boards to 320 grit. I would say 220 grit is probably the best to use for this scenario. So like I said, with this board you have just a few scratches here. You can see like right in here. You can just feel the grain is not as smooth as it was. With this guy you can see just a few little smudges right in here, and we can feel that the grain is not as smooth as it once was. Alright, so again, this is 220 grit sandpaper, and you're just going to go ahead and get started. Let's see, we've already seen that smudge. I should have pointed it out before. I've already seen it disappear. I used to get worried when I was sanding because I would start to see all this, like, no, the pretty grain is disappearing and it's getting cloudy. That's what the oil is for. If your board has a bevel, don't you dare mess that up. And go right along with it, just like that. You just want to feel, make sure it's smooth. If you missed a spot, you'll be able to tell because it won't be as smooth. You just want to make sure that you do not see those scratches anymore, and all you're going to see is the cloudiness. And this one, with the resin, you'll be able to see that cloudiness that I'm talking about. Alright, so now that we have sanded the boards, it's the moment you've all been waiting for, where you actually get to put Walrus Oil on your boards. Again, with your pack I included this little puppy, just so I can keep these to send out to you lovely people who buy my boards. I'm going to use my stash. I promise this is Walrus Oil. So let's go ahead and get started with this step. This is the best step. So you want to shake it up pretty well, and then you just apply a little bit, and then watch it. Wow. And even this board that looked good already has so much more life. See, like, watch right here, this is where we sanded. It's just... And the difference here. Ooh. So again, it looks pretty good as it is. Let's see if we can get the grain to pop some more with the Walrus Oil. Oh yeah. So after these are finished, we're just going to let them sit overnight. Alright, so we've let these boards dry overnight. You can see on the all wood piece it's mostly soaked in other than just a few spots right here. So we're just going to take a towel here that is approved by your wife and just wipe out all of the excess spots. Make sure it's dry. You shouldn't be able to see your finger marks there if you can wipe it. Washed it, sanded it, and oiled it, and let the oil sit. We are going to wax it now. So you just want to apply a thin layer, and again I'm just going to use my big stash so I can send the small ones out to you guys. You just want to use a little bit. So you want a thin layer covering the entire board, top and bottom, and then we're going to let it sit for 15 minutes. Alright, so it's been 15 minutes. We put our wax on, and now we're waxing off. So that's it. We washed the charcuterie boards with lukewarm water, let it dry, sanded it, oiled it, let it sit overnight and cure. We waxed it, let the wax cure on top, and then buffed it off. And now these boards are ready to go. You can put all the fancy meats and cheeses that your heart desires on these boards now. This was my wife's idea to do this video. I've sent out over 100 of these, probably 150 now, of these care kits with Walrus Oil, with charcuterie boards and cutting boards that I've sold. So she suggested that I make a video, and I thought it was a fantastic idea. So I'm going to start doing more videos like this, or build videos, so I would love if you get a chance if you could subscribe below.